Like, you're aiming a gun at a person to your left. They're aiming a gun at a person to their left, and so on and so forth, till ultimately there's a gun aimed at you. It's like, and if you're told, like, if you don't shoot the person on your left, the person on your right will shoot you.
Yeah.
It's almost like the boat scene from the, what was it, Batman the Dark Knight, where like there's the two boats, the boat of criminals and the boat of civilians, they both have a detonator.
Yeah.
Like, if you think the other person's gonna blow you up if you don't blow them up, then it's not whether you're a good person, it's whether you think, like, one, you're gonna survive if you don't pull it, and two, is your life worth more than theirs, I guess, is the question. There's a whole lot of different questions there.
Yeah, or do you think that they would actually do that to you? Do you think they're a bad person? It's kind of like the idea, if you're pessimistic about someone else's good intentions and you try to preempt them, does that make you a bad person? If you are a good person and they're a bad person and they blow you up, was your goodness worth anything? You know, because not only did you blow up, you also lost the lives of all the people on your ship. You are inherently responsible, but I mean, they are responsible, obviously, because they did it. But it's just like, could that weigh on your conscience? Like, these kinds of like situational things of good or bad are just like impossible to reconcile, because it's like a fantastic scenario that none of us will ever be in. The most good or bad that we usually are in is someone like in need of help, and am I willing to help them?
See, I think it's two different ways to look at it. I think that there's, can you still be good in an extreme situation versus do you overall just do good from your day-to-day life?
I guess what you're convincing me of is that I framed my question inaccurately, because what you're talking about, Mark, is like the absolute extreme case testing someone's morality, and like, what order are your values in order of you dying, someone else dying, the value of money or whatever reward thing. Like, there's an order to your morality. Everyone values things, you know, theoretically differently. If it was a sliding scale with an infinite number of positions, probably no two people have exactly the same sliding settings on their sliders for their life, others' lives, a child versus an adult, whatever. But like, I guess my question is more like what I was getting at, and maybe it's too small for me to say humanity is bad, is humanity is selfish. The extent to which you are an asshole in public, and the things that I was talking about, the small things, the non-life and death, everyday things that happen where people are or are not considerate. I guess it has to do with selfishness, and not in like a bad way, like I think I'm the only one who deserves anything. I'm selfish. I must, I deserve it all. But like, if you are self-absorbed, self-centered, you're not spending a lot of time and energy concerned about, is this rude? Am I about to do something that's going to inconvenience the people around me? You're concerned about like, I have to do X thing. I'm going to do it in the most efficient way possible for me because it's convenient for me to do it this way right now. And like, I don't even know if that's right or wrong. There are certainly situations where if someone is selfish and, screws someone else over, hurts someone, denies someone access to something they need, medical, like, sure, there are cases where that's, I think, objectively wrong to have done that. But is it wrong, I guess? Am I just judgy? Am I just a very empathetic, like outwardly focused person where I'm concerned about how I'm affecting other people? I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be rude. Is that any more right or wrong than someone who is not concerned if they're rude or inconvenient to other people? They are doing what they need to do because they're a living, breathing person. They have legitimate interests. They're just doing, legally, morally, nothing wrong. They're just doing what they need to do, going about their day. Is that a difference, or is that just me? Am I just a judgy Jason over here?
I mean, you see in others what you see in yourself. Kind of like, are you constantly weighing other people's against your own internal struggles? Because I imagine if everyone's thoughts were broadcast loudly out in the open, we would not be able to sustain ourselves like as a society, because like it's all the weird, like random bullshitty thoughts along with the self-doubt would be broadcast for everyone to hear.
Oh God, yeah, the horrible thoughts I have about you guys all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait for you to hear those. So this is a big philosophical question to me, because my focus when I was in college in philosophy was morals and ethics. And the frustration that you all will have will be the same one that I had, is that it depends, is the answer. It depends on what moral theory you're applying to any given situation. There are anywhere from like 3 to 8 moral theories that depend on how you look at it, and they all approach things from a different way. Some moral theories, it's all about action and consequence more than intent. So like if you do bad, even if your intention is good or you didn't intend to do bad, so you cut somebody off, right? And they freak out and they wreck their car. You didn't hit them, but the result of you getting in front of them was the wreck. Therefore, what you did was bad. What if your intent was good? What if you were trying to race to get someone to the hospital and that happened? You know, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, the result was something bad happened. That is one application of moral theory. One moral theory is all about intention. If you're trying to do good, if your intent is good, then regardless of result, good. And then there's more complicated ones, right? There's utilitarianism, which is the greater good. Any decision is morally correct if more good comes out of it than bad. If the other decision results in more bad happening overall, then that is a immoral act. So there's a guy strapped on the train on the left. There's two people strapped to the train on the right. The train's about to hit these two people. Well, you pull the lever. You kill one person to save the two lives. That's utilitarianism, very boiled down to simplicity. There's Kantian ethics. There's so on and so forth. There's so many different ways to look at moral decisions and moral theories and apply them to situations that good and bad is very dependent on your approach to the situation. Most moral theories would say murder is wrong, you know, not saying like, you know, killing someone that might kill a million other people would be not applying it to that. Just saying like killing in general with intent to murder someone is probably wrong. Most moral theories would agree to that. But other things, it depends. I see a lot of different trolleys appearing. We have trolley images. You guys ever look at the trolley?
This is the trolley
dilemmas?
Yeah, literally, the trolley problem is the funniest fucking thing I've ever had in my entire goddamn life.
The trolley one's so fascinating because there's another implication. It's killing versus letting die, which comes down to actually that's a lot of where like euthanasia and stuff. Like some of that spins off of the trolley dilemma: killing versus letting die. If you actively kill someone, is it worse than letting them die? And there's examples of things where it's like, oh, letting them die is wrong because it results in more suffering versus no, killing is wrong because you're actively taking a life, and so on and so forth. It's very interesting. But so try to simplify this really quickly, Bob. I know I'm not doing a good job of explaining any of these moral theories, but it really just depends on what your approach is and what you prioritize, because no moral theory is, I don't think, fully accepted more than another. They all end up being situational. And a lot of law is based on morals, but law is different than morals and ethics. It has to be. But whether you are good or bad depends on your approach, what you did, and whether you justify the results, the intent, so on and so forth. And it's just such a complicated question, and I cannot give you the answer you want. I am sorry.
What were you saying about the trolley, Mark?
Yeah, man.
I'm not disinterested in what you said, Wade. I was just curious why Mark thought it was funny to kill people.
No. It's hilarious. The trolley problem meme. Have you never explored trolley problem memes?
I haven't, actually.
I mean, I've seen like trolley problem political cartoons, but I haven't gone down it in a meme sense.
I've not seen the meme.
You've never seen like trolley problem memes? Like the one I just posted there? Like there's nothing you can do to save the people. However, the lever you stand next to controls the music playing from the boombox attached to the trolley. If you pull it to your left, it plays All Star by Smash Mouth. But if you pull it to your right, it plays any random anime song. You can only pull it once, and if you don't pull it, it defaults to All Star. You cannot kill yourself. Like that's the trolley problem. Or like the quantum trolley problem. If you do not pull the lever, the train will stray on track C. If you pull the lever, the train will either be on A or B. Until you observe the train, you will not know the effect of pulling the lever, and thus is it said to be in a superposition. Mickey's Dick Smasher. 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 Mickey's Dick Smasher.
What?
Wasn't it like, is it like Goofy's vagina stretcher? I don't remember.
Oh my god, what the hell is happening?
Two roller coasters that collide into each other going down hills. A guy or girl stands here and gets their dick smashed between the two roller coasters. Okay.
I think it was like Donald's vagina stretcher. It's like the opposite of Mickey's Dick Smasher. You have two trains that are like magnetically launched opposite directions, and then just like...
Please don't post the image of that one.
I can't find it.
Mark, what if you made me Google?
I don't know, man. I don't know. What are you talking about?
What's happening in here?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just Googled vagina smash, and honestly,
No,
the images
not
are not what I
vagina
expected.
smash.
There's no Donald.
There's no Donald.
There's no Donald in anything.
in here. I was told by my friend I'd find Donald in here. This is just a vagina.
There's some very happy guys here, but no Donald.
Yeah, no. I just wait. I got another trolley problem. Hedonist trolley problem. The track is headed towards B. If you pull the lever, it will switch to A, but it won't do the totally sick loop to loop. Yeah, no. I don't know who's hijacking it for stupid economy or political memes. Like, that's not the point. It's just like, God, I love it. This episode of Distractible is brought to you by Manscaped. Ho, 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 gentlemen. You need to give yourself the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and dingleberries this holiday season, which is why you need the all-new Ultra Premium Body Wash and 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner.
All right, well, I would like to treat my spiracles well this holiday season.
I would like to have a perfectly pruned pouch, if I'm honest.
You know how I take care of my Yuamahawamas?
No, Mark, why don't you tell us?
With Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the signature Lawnmower 4.0 with proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to reduce cuts on your nuts.
You know what I used to call them? Before I had the Lawnmower 4.0s, I just used to call them my because it hurt, it pinches, it pulls. I don't want my grinkles to be all effed up, if you know what I mean. The lawnmower is nice.
It is really nice. It's waterproof. You know, you can use it in the shower to make less mess around your sink. So that way your awoogas aren't making a mess all around the bathroom.
The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver Anti-Chafing Hunk Deodorant, Moisturizer, and Toner.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DISTRACTABLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DISTRACTIBLE. Clean up your humminess and make Santa proud this year.
This episode of Distractible is brought to you by BetterHelp. Boys, I was going to see my therapist the other day, sitting in the waiting room, and this kid picks up his Tonka truck, yeets it across the room, smashes the glass on the fish tank. Whole fiasco. I can't stand waiting rooms.
I had the opposite problem. My waiting room was completely empty. I had no one I could sit right next to or make conversation with while I was waiting to go in. Just complete and utter silence. There was no one for me to make eye contact with. It was very, very lonely.
I once thought I went into the waiting room, but I opened the door to a black void and I stepped out and gravity kind of stopped and I started floating into the nothingness and I just sunk deeper and deeper into the darkness. It was terrible.
Boys, have I got news for you.
Oh?
There's a better way to get better help. See what I did there? BetterHelp will assess your needs, match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You could start communicating with them through phone calls, through texting, through video chat. It's better. It's better than going to the waiting room, dealing with other people, and all of their shenanigans. BetterHelp is here for you.
Where do I find this?
BetterHelp is available online for clients worldwide. You can access it on your phone, on a tablet, on a computer, anything that has the internet. Anytime you want, you can send a message. You'll get timely, thoughtful responses. You just pick up the phone, and that's it.
It can't be that simple.
It is. You can start living a happier life by visiting betterhelp.com/distractible. That's BetterHelp.com/distractible. You can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/distractible.
This episode of Distractible is brought to you by Zen Business. Does all that business stuff confuse you?
Yeah.
But you still, I wasn't talking to you directly, Bob.
Oh.
I get confused by it too.
Well, okay, guys, we're supposed to be knowledgeable about this.
Oh.
All that crazy business stuff with all the filings and all the
Memos.
memos, good, very good. And with the
Taxes
taxes and stuff like that, regulations, you're following?
Office monkeys.
And to do that, you might have to make your own business. And Zen Business is here to help you make your monkey dreams come true.
Well, I like monkeys, but how do I make that happen, Mark?
I'll tell you, Zen Business. The Zen Business platform gives you everything you need to turn your idea into a money-making business and run it with ease. Fast and simple business formation for LLC and other business structures. Wade, what does LLC stand for?
low, come on.
Okay, that's LLCO.
I know it. It's look, a company.
Okay, all right, close enough. And other business structures, of which we all know what they are. Worry-free compliance and annual filing, so your business keeps its good standing and avoids fines and penalties from the state.
Oh.
Leave it to Zen Business to secure an employer ID number so you can open a bank account, hire employees, and protect your personal assets.
I want 69.
Zen Business has helped hundreds of thousands of people get their business off the ground by guiding them every step of the way and making it easier to launch a successful business. Get started today for as low as $49 at zenbusiness.com/distractible. That's ZenBusiness.com/distractible.
Anyway, I feel like you explained how a person might justify whatever they believe, but I don't know if that actually changed my mind at all. Wait.
Well, yeah, I don't know that I can.
I think I represent humanity, and I still think I'm bad.
Well, have you ever considered the idea of maybe you are?
Are you just apathetic, Bob? Is it possible you're not bad? It's just apathy? Do you intentionally cut people off with a thought like, fuck you. I hope you almost crash as I get in front of you. Or is it more just like, oh shit, I need to get over? Or a lack of, I don't know, just situational awareness? I'm not saying you're not paying attention while driving, but like, you know, maybe your immediate thought at that moment isn't negative when you're cutting somebody off.
Or are you traveling through life with a GTA style point score up in the top left corner of your vision, and you have to fight the urge to collect as many points as possible? And then when you see a new mother with a pram pushing across the crosswalk, are you just like resisting the temptation for those glorious points?
And are you ignoring good things that you do? Are you simply dwelling on like a few negative things and you're like, overall, therefore that makes me bad because these situations happened and I did X, whereas you're ignoring a lot of the things where it's like X was a selfish decision, but you actually did Y?
I guess my conclusion about it would be I have good intentions. Like, there is 0% of the time where I'm trying to be an a-hole. But even with that as my motivator, I know there have been situations where, regardless of what I meant, what I did in someone else's, experience, what I did to them gave them the visceral reaction of, oh, look at this asshole. Damn it. Look at this guy. And like, to me, I was just like, ooh, whoops, gotta do whatever. Gotta get over. I'm late. It was pure intentions. I don't think I'm a bad person at heart, but I guess I just, what's that quote? Everybody you meet is fighting a battle that you have no knowledge of which you have no knowledge. I don't know, something like that. Like, you can never know the context of another person. And I guess I just see so many people being rude and experience myself so many times. Something will happen and in my head I'm like, oh, why was that so rude? Like, it probably wasn't, right? It probably was someone who had the same motivation as me of like, oh, I'm late, I'm in a hurry, I really need this, I'm not trying to be rude, I just, my child is sick, whatever. But I always think it's negative. And I think everyone else always thinks it's negative. Like, everyone, if you hear someone come home from work and they tell a story about like, oh, this guy came in, it's never like, yeah, he was so crazy. He was in a rush. He was like asking us if we could hurry up. And like, I just wonder what's going on with him, Like, why is he so stressed out? I hope he's okay. Everyone is always like, this guy came in and he would not leave me alone. He was rushing me. He's like, it's like he doesn't understand that it takes time to do my job, that there are other customers. Like, if everyone assumes the worst, everyone just thinks everyone's terrible. Everyone thinks I'm terrible that I run into, and I do the same thing. I feel like there's a negative preconception about everything that you experience in public when there's no logical reason for that.
Well, I think there might be. I think intrinsically things that go right don't stick with us as much because there's nothing to gain from that. Whereas in the past, survival instincts, it's like something goes wrong or something is bad and it does stick out. So we learn something from it. We learn to either avoid that person or that creature or that situation or so on and so forth. And it's just like that aspect of us hasn't evolved and changed. And so the negative sticks out to us, and it sucks that it does. But, that's again why sensational headlines and stuff stick out. It's why I think back to working retail, and a lot of the things I remember are the negative things. I have to like think about it. I'll be like, oh man, that was a really fun night. But the first couple things I think of were that time that guy threatened me with a shotgun, or that time that kid threw all of the shit on the floor. We had to clean it up, or the time I had to clean up a horrible bloody mess in one of the bathrooms. Like, a lot of the negative moments stand out to me. And I don't think that's because I'm bad or, this and that was bad. I think that just negativity for some reason jumps out in our minds. And I think it's an instinctual thing that's hard to combat.
I've got an example that I think might convince you, Bob,
Yeah.
of just by comparison of what is good and bad. Humans are bad, but I posit that monkeys are worse.
Okay.
I went to the zoo once, and I was there with, some friends, and we were looking at the chimpanzees, and we were watching them, and they were just like in their exhibit, and they were having a good time. And then this one chimp came over to the window, looked us dead in the eye, kind of looked us up and down, left to right at each of us, reached down behind itself towards its buttocks, shat out a turd, brought it right up to its lip, and popped that bad boy right in. And it made us watch. And I know it's probably happened, but I've never encountered that with a human. So in my personal experience, I think that humans can't be that bad because I haven't seen that. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but there's worse. There's probably much worse. So by the transitive property, humanity can't be that bad. And therefore you, Bob, if you haven't put shit in your mouth in front of someone else and made them watch, I'd say you're doing all right.
Taking Mark's weird approach here, looking at a statistic, humans are responsible for 437,000 human deaths a year, but there is something worse than humans. It's not monkeys. It's mosquitoes. 750,000 deaths a year.
Oh, shit.
So I guess monkeys for Mark, mosquitoes for statistics.
Dude, I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the worst.
Dude, I know.
They don't do anything good.
Well,
They just spread diseases.
so I guess if we're gonna take the humanity sucks, but there's worse out there approach, then mosquitoes and monkeys. There you go. The M&Ms of the world.
The transitive property always wins out. You can always get to the bottom of something with the transitive property.
And you know what you get with humans, monkeys, and mosquitoes?
All right.
Oh, I see. It's because the first letter of the HMM, this, and you would read that as
Yeah, it made me think of back in the day when we did the that creature in Spore, the but this is the the start. At least you're not a mosquito, Bob. Feel better about yourself now?
Kinda, I
Or a
guess.
monkey, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought was going to come of this. Got a little more serious than I thought, but I think we've reached a conclusion.
You dropped me into moral theory. Don't take me to moral theory or else I have to.
I think we've reached a natural endpoint. I think that's going to be it for today's discussion. I'm going to pretend to tabulate some points. Will, put a sound in that sounds like I'm tabulating things. This actually turned into a real squeaker. It started off kind of one-sided, and then Wade
I know, I was pretty dominant.
Wade really threw down a lot of philosophy stuff that made me think and almost made me not hate myself as much as I do. I didn't though. And then Mark turned it around, the whole monkey situation. We had the nice discussion. It's a real squeaker. This is a real back of the book point that Wade earned. I think the winner is Wade because he stole it with the never before used point by any of us, actually putting knowledge you gained from education to use. Wade is formally educated in moral theory and philosophy.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Classically trained.
And God damn it if you didn't use some of that probably misremembered knowledge today during the podcast.
I basically showed you the index. That's all. I was like, here's the table of contents of philosophy, moral theory. That's all I did.
I have a law degree. I took the foundation of moral and ethics, that sort of thing. So I knew that, but I bet that was interesting to people who may not have heard of those things before. And if you found it interesting, you should look them up.
Moral theory is very, very fascinating.
Moral theory is exhausting, but fascinating. And you never get a good answer. There's no such thing as a good answer. Prepare to be dissatisfied.
True.
But it's fascinating. But valiant effort, Mark.
Thank you.
You scored a lot of good points.
Thank you.
I really liked you. Almost had it with the monkeys, but
Thank you.
Wade reached deep in the rule book, pulled out the old
Mosquitoes.
educational application points.
Interesting.
So yeah, what do you have to say, Wade? You happy? Happy victor?
Yeah, after today's episode, I think what I have gained from this is pay attention when you're driving. Use your turn signal, leave space, don't be an asshole. And bug spray. Mosquitoes will kill us all.
That's a good point. Mosquitoes are dangerous, man.
And I guess avoid monkeys if those are around you.
They're pretty dangerous too,
Yeah.
psychologically.
There's a story of, like, I don't want to go into it right now, but there's a story about someone who had a pet monkey that, like, ended up, like, just annihilating their friend. And
It was an orangutan.
I forget what the monkey's name was. It was like a monkey that was, like, famous. I cannot remember all the details, but this monkey was, like, famous and was, like, a town icon, was in commercials and stuff. And then, like, one day just, like, annihilated someone's face and stuff, had to be put down. It's a really sad story. Makes me agree with Mark.
Next time on Distractible, that monkey Wade can't remember about. Listeners, thank you so much for listening to this entire episode. I hope we didn't scare you away from ever listening again. I'm sorry I brought up, I don't know, whatever I brought up, morals. That's my bad. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Make sure you check the little plus. You've added it to your whatever, on whatever platform you listen. It'll tell you every week when there's a new one. It's always on Monday. You could remember, but you don't even have to. You can find Mark at Markiplier on, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You could find Wade
Travis. The monkey's name was Travis.
at Travis's house, I guess. I don't
That's
know.
just a sad story. Don't look it up. It's a sad story.
He's on Twitch, Minion777, Lord Minion777 elsewhere. That's the end. Thanks for indulging me. I still hate myself. Podcast out.
I love me.
1, 2, 3,